Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. If you're watching the replay, thanks for dropping in. So, 2 nights in a row. I think that might be a first. So, still working on Roaring Tiger from Home Craftology. Nearly finished the section that I was doing last night, and should get on to this section. So it's Friday, yay, and it is 8:03 p.m. in Copenhagen. So I've finished work for the week. Time to do some diamond painting. And working with tweezers as usual. So no multi-placing in this video. One drill at a time. Thank you very much. So just before I started this, I had a major drill spill with this. I hadn't closed the lid properly and I was moving stuff around and I knocked this thing and it landed on the floor. So all of these 34s ended up on the floor, and that is the colour that I'm working on at the moment. Luckily, I've got a clear mat underneath the chair, so they landed on the mat, so they were quite easy to scrape up. So I was kind of lucky with that, but it did take a bit of time. It was definitely the largest spill that I've had, but no panic. I got them all back. So I think we're going to be expecting a heat wave next week in Denmark. I saw that in England they have a red warning, which has never been issued in the UK, because they're expecting extremely high temperatures at the beginning of the week. And normally the way the weather works, whatever hits England swings its way around and hits Denmark a few days later. So I think by the middle to the end of next week, we probably are going to be stuck in a heat wave as well. So saying that they're expecting England to be in the 30s, possibly even up to 40, which is very high for England. Places like Vegas would laugh at that, but in England that is very hot. And they don't have air conditioning. And it's the same in Denmark. When it gets really warm here, basically when we're trying to sleep at night, all we do is put on a fan and blow the warm air around the room and try and sleep. The reason we don't have air conditioning is because we very seldom get it really hot. But it is definitely increasing. The winters are definitely getting more mild. I don't think we had any snow to talk about at all in Copenhagen last winter. About 4 years ago, it was so cold that the sea froze, the canals froze. But recently, it's been very, very mild. And I read that the temperature of the Earth in general has went up by 1.1 degrees, which doesn't sound much, but I think it is having a big effect. Anyway, that's the weather report. So if you've dropped in on the replay, or you are the one person that's watching just now, the way this works is I just come on, work on the project I'm on. People drop in and they chat sometimes, and we just go with the flow. So no specific agenda. Doesn't have to be about diamond painting either. Talk about pretty much anything. But obviously diamond painting is the thing that most of us have in common. Most people that drop in here diamond paint. I do sometimes get people just dropping in randomly. Last night I had bots dropping in. That was fun. But sometimes I get people dropping in that don't even know what diamond painting is. They just drop in on a live. That can be quite interesting. I know that most people that watch the videos are in America. So it always is a bit of a problem for me because of the time difference. I am about 6 hours in front, depending where you are in America, between 6 and 8 hours in front. So for me, it's Friday evening. In America, it's Friday afternoon. It's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a lot of people. Maybe even midday for some. But there are diamond painters in Europe, and sometimes they drop in. That's the thing about doing the lives. I don't have any set day or time, so nobody can really drop in and say, oh yeah, Jim's going to be on this day, this time. It's totally random, just when I can fit it in. I think this is one of the very few occasions where I've been on 2 days in a row. So just finishing this tiger's leg. That's the part that I'm working on just now. Hi Jean, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, just found that one. I had a drill stuck to my hand. I didn't know where it came from. I've knocked it out of place here. Should have been there. Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, so I'm finishing the section that I was working on yesterday, Jean. I don't have too much to go, so I thought I would set the camera up so we can see the next section, which I'm pretty sure I'll be starting. But I do have 2 cameras set up today, so we can switch from that to this. So you can get a bit of a better idea of what I'm working on. This is the tiger's leg. This part here that you can't really make out, but you can from a distance, is the tiger's tail. So where's the phone? If I show you what I'm working on, what camera am I on? This one. I am working on this back leg. So I'm not even halfway. The next row that I work on, I might get the tiger's ear in, and then the next one, I should get the eye, the mouth. Still got quite a bit to go. This is a 75 by 60, so reasonable size. So how are you doing, Jean? Looking forward to the weekend. So I'm doing the checkerboard pattern that I always do. Basically, it means you miss every second drill. I had physical therapy today. Cool. Well, YouTube is messing up again because looking at my screen, I have no viewers, but you have commented. So, fake news. Talking about news, I'm going to be doing a YouTube live on Sunday morning, which will be useless for you, Jean. That'll be like the middle of the night, I would think. I can't. Are you 6 hours behind me? Is that right? I'm going to be doing a live. I'm going to be visiting the Hans Christian Andersen statue that I took a picture of and did as a custom diamond painting. And it is in a place called Conan's Hale, which means King's Garden. And we have Rosenborg Castle, which is there. So you will probably see the replay because it opens at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is going to be 4 o'clock in the morning for you. But that is weather permitting. If it's pouring with rain, I won't be going anywhere. I don't think it's meant to rain, but you never know. Wrong button. So I'll switch back to this for a bit. No, it shows I've got one person again. That's the thing about YouTube, you're never quite sure. I've had that a lot where it says there is nobody there and then people start commenting. So it's a bit glitchy. So I've got a question, Jean, for you or anybody else who wants to comment on this. How long have you been diamond painting? That is the first question. It's leading on to something else. One year. Okay. Right. The first question, apart from that one, is how many times have you had to have a canvas replaced? How many times have you had a diamond painting and the canvas has been so crushed or full of air bubbles or whatever, bad print? How many times have you contacted a company for a replacement? And that goes for anybody that's watching now or anybody that's watching the replay, Nikki. I'm just kind of curious to how many times people have had problems, right? So Jean in a year has never had a canvas where she's had to complain and get a replacement, which is good. The next question is how many times have you been short of drills? how many times have you run out of a colour in 1 year of diamond painting? Thinking about it, this is actually going to lead into more questions. This is just a spur of the moment thing, but I'd be really interested if people watching the replay would sort of play along with this and let me know how many times have you contacted a company or any company to have a replacement. Did they send a replacement is the main thing. And how many times have you run out of any colours and had to ask for replacement drills, and did they send them? Personally, I've been diamond painting for coming up for 3 years. I've contacted companies, I think 4 times for replacement canvases for various reasons, and every time the company has replaced it. Okay, you haven't. I mean, that's good. That's good that you haven't. I think I've had 4, maybe 5, where I've had to contact a company and say, this canvas is not any good. And all of them have replaced the canvas. As far as running out of drills goes, I think I've had 3. One of them in particular, I was, I think, 24,000 or 24,500 drills short. I had no 310 in the diamond painting, and it was a black background. So I should have had, I think it was about 24,500 black, and I found out I had none. The other ones, it's been like maybe 20, 10, whatever, like low numbers. And I've had enough in the drills that I've kept from other kits. I've had enough of those colours to fill in the gaps, except that one with the black. I contacted the company, but the thing is, it was about 6 months, just over 6 months after I'd bought the diamond painting. I actually bought it. I did a YouTube unboxing, but I didn't bother to go through and check that I had the drills, because the way that I was thinking was, okay, I might be a few short here, there. I have a lot of spare drills of a lot of colours, and I've probably got enough to cover it. I wasn't expecting to be 24,500 drills down. Contacted the company, said I bought this 6 months ago, just found out I'm short of these. I don't have any black. I just wondered if you would still like replace them, and they never ever got back to me. So I take that as a no. But it's just something that you should be aware of when you buy a diamond painting kit. Not all companies will replace the kit whenever you decide to open it. Like a lot of people, including me, have a lot of diamond paintings, and you build up a stash. A lot of people don't even open the boxes, they just pile them up, and they get round to them whenever. Now, depending which company you buy from, and I would say the vast majority of companies do have a time limit. Oh, here's Chantel, sneaked in quietly there. Hi, Chantel. Happy Friday. I would say most companies do have a, a, a time limit where if you haven't checked your kit within a period of time to make sure that the canvas is okay, the drills are okay, they won't replace for free. A lot of them it's 30 days. Some are a bit longer. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Diamond Art Club. They have no limit. I contacted a lot of companies a while back and asked them, how long do you let customers have a kit And how long is it? Like, how long before you have your sort of replacement thing is valid? And Diamond Art Club said it's unlimited. If you have not opened that box, like 2 years later, you could open that box and find out I'm missing drills, or the canvas, there's something wrong with the canvas, or whatever it is. Diamond Art Club said they will honour that. It doesn't matter how long it is. As far as I remember, now it was quite a while ago I did that, but as far as I remember, they were the only company that said that. Some had a limit of 30 days, quite a few actually. Some had a limit a bit longer, and a lot of companies never even got back to me. They didn't answer the question. So it's just something I did a video about it a while back, and I think I called it Check Your Stash. And the reason is a lot of us end up with a big pile of diamond paintings and we don't check them until we're ready to actually do them. And you could get caught out. That was the whole point. I got caught out with that one, 24 to 24,500 drills short of 310. Luckily, I have tons of 310. Still haven't done that diamond painting, but I'm pretty confident I've got more than enough to do the background. Again, it's something that I don't always do. I don't always check. I'm just saying it's a good idea to do it because you could get caught that you don't have enough drills and the company won't send replacements because it's been so long since you bought it. The way that I was thinking is I've got so many spares of a lot of colours. If I'm only missing 10, 20, 30, 100 drills, I would have enough probably. If I don't, I know a guy in England, I could just contact him, say, "Hi Mike, I'm missing X a number of whatever," and he'll send them. I mean, they're not that expensive, but um, to get caught out with 24,500 drills, that was a bit different. So I just thought I'd mention it, something that people may not know. Yeah, I still don't, Gene. I still don't. Even though I got caught with that one, I think the majority of the time it's going to be a few drills. In fact, hang on, I'll check how many diamond paintings have I done. I have done 44. Yeah, 44. This is my 45th diamond painting. Drill wise, I think maybe counting that company, maybe 3 or 4, maybe out of 44. So it's just something that maybe if somebody's new, you don't think about it. You just get your diamond paintings and you put them in a cupboard and you work on them when you get to them. You might find out you're short. You might find out there's something wrong with the canvas. It might be creased. It might be misprint. It might be no glue in an area, whatever. And if you leave it too long, there's a good chance the company are going to say, well, you've had it for however many months. You should have checked it before now. The only company I can, that I can remember that said it doesn't matter how long was Diamond Art Club. What about you, Shot and Tell? Have you ever run out of, well, before I start that one, have you ever had a canvas that you've had to get replaced because of defects? I did contact Mike one time and told him I got a kit from a company and I was missing a bag of whatever colour. And he sent me the drills like that colour. The next day, after I told them they were missing, I found them under the desk. I must have dropped one of the bags, and it was under the desk, and I didn't see it. So I sent him an email the next day. It said, "Mike, I found them. I hope you haven't sent them." He had sent them. So I ended up with an extra bag. But I have had some where I haven't had enough drills. I mean, it is few and far between that it happens, but it does happen. And you do occasionally get canvases that have problems. I've had canvases where I've had threads from the canvas are underneath the glue, so not really going to work. They were poured glue. I did try cutting the glue and trying to pull the thread out, and it just broken up. It just broke up underneath the glue. So it would mean the drills would be sitting kind of weird. So contacted the company, took pictures, said, "This is what I got. Can you send me a replacement?" And they did straight away, no problem. Hi Jennifer, thanks for dropping in. Happy Friday. No, I haven't. I had skin colour issues, but I'm going to replace the colour myself. But I only ran out of drills 2 times. Once with a kit from Amazon, and it was a year after a year after you ordered it. Another time was Treasure Art Studios. Yeah, I mean the company doesn't really matter, unless it's you're getting the same company again and again with problems. But I mean, things happen. I mean, it's just life. The main thing is they send them. That's. I mean, every time I've had any kind of issue, I mean, I've had ones where I've got them and I've thought, no, I'm not so sure about this because this is in the olden days when most of them were double-sided adhesive, and I would get some that were pretty badly wrinkled and contact the company, take pictures, that's what I always do, and say, got this and it's like this, I'm not sure it's going to flatten. And they always would say, try it, and if you can't get it, we'll send you another one. And a few times I've tried them, I've like cut the air bubbles and all that stuff, and they've worked and they actually looked fine. So I didn't bother trying to get a replacement. DAC's Each Tree Has a Soul. That's what Tammy's working on just now. 40% off. Did you see the thing that happened with Diamond Art Club on the Amazon Prime thing? Where they were meant to give 20% off and they gave 80% off. Some people got a very nice bargain that day. I think it was 52 customers, something like that. 52 customers got 80% off Diamond Art Club. You'll never get that again. But it was Amazon's mistake, and Diamond Art Club were sleeping at the time, so they didn't catch it. 40% off. That is really good. It's a really nice diamond painting. Tammy's over halfway now. She's really enjoying that one. I've been looking at their. I think I got an email today. They're doing 50% off some. I had a browse, but I've already got 3 Diamond Art Clubs sitting here still to be unboxed, and a pile of other stuff. So I put my foot down and I did not click the buy button. I think that's all of that. I honestly thought it was a scam as well, Jennifer, because I was thinking Diamond Art Club, Amazon. Diamond Art Club don't sell on Amazon. And I thought it was a scam. And then later on, I was watching the messages and I found out it was actually genuine. It was a mistake. But I mean, there isn't anything on Diamond Art Club at the moment that I'm looking for. Like, I don't have something I'm waiting on coming back in. I've got more than enough to keep me busy for a long time, but it doesn't mean if something just pops up new that I like, that I won't click the button. I did that with one that I've got to unbox. Was not looking to buy anything. I just got the email came up saying new releases or restocked. It wasn't new. It was restocked, and I looked, and there was one that I saw that I'd never seen before, and I thought I've never seen that, but it was restocked. It wasn't new, and I really liked it, so I ordered it. So that's to be unboxed. We've got the one that Tammy ordered that's to be unboxed. We've got one that we ordered for both of us to work on at the same time, which is going to be a bit different. We're going to have it, it's so long, we're going to have it over both tables. I'm going to be working on one end, Tammy's going to be working on the other end. We're going to have two cameras set up so you can actually watch us. I will be posting, once after I've done the unboxing, I'll be posting a picture on Instagram of it across the tables. I think it's going to look pretty cool. So that's coming up. Not exactly sure when. I've got a lot of stuff to unbox. I'm guessing, but I'm thinking in the region of about 16 diamond paintings to unbox, something like that. It's a lot. It's not just diamond paintings. There's some diamond painting pens as well. When I cut my finger at work, everything stopped because I couldn't do the unboxing. So stuff's been coming in and piling up. So yeah, it may actually be more than that when I think about it. I've got 7 from one company, 6 from another company, 3 from another company, 2 diamond painting pens, 3 diamond painting pens, and 2 or 3 individuals from other companies, some companies that I haven't tried before. Trying to find the time to do this is becoming a problem. Nope, I have finished it. It's going to be pretty cool to work on the same diamond painting at the same time. And we've got a place already set out where we want to put it. So that's going to be quite a long project. Pardon the pun. We'll just check how long that project is going to be. It's going to be 119 centimeters long. Well, 119 centimeters wide. So pretty big. Checking what one now. Yeah, it's I think I'm going to have to adjust. We've got 2 drafting tables facing each other. I think I'm going to actually have to increase the space between them so we can get the thing sitting on both tables without hanging off the end somewhere. Because what I've done already is I've got like a cardboard bridge that I put in between the tables. Because a lot of my kits are quite big, and what I do is I feed them across onto Tammy's table, and they go underneath the diamond painting that she's working on. And that's been happening for a long time. But we've never tried doing a long one and both working on it at the same time. I think we do actually have another one that's slightly longer, but that's going to be a future project in the far and distant. I've got so many diamond paintings now that I really want to do, but we've decided the combined one is going to be next. But Tammy's working on one, I'm working on one. I think I'm going to take longer to finish this. So she will probably work on a smaller one until I'm done, and then we'll move on to that long one. Because this is quite big, and I don't want to leave it sort of half done. I want to get it finished. So Jennifer, how long have you been diamond painting? Okay. Have you ever had a kit where you've had to get a replacement canvas, or have you ever run out of drills, run out of a colour, and had to ask for extra drills? I'm basically asking anybody that watches the replay as well, just trying to get a sort of idea. I think I've had about 4 canvases replaced in 3 years, and maybe about the same where I've had kits where I've been short of colour. But most of them I had spares and I just used them, so I didn't bother getting in touch and waiting 2 or 3 weeks. I just used the spare ones I had. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people at diamond paint crochet as well. Not me. Just diamond painting is as much as I can handle. I'm not looking to take up any other arty crafty stuff. I'm quite happy diamond painting. But I have noticed a lot of people have crocheted or crochet as well. I did watch somebody making, what was it? Was it a hat? It was a winter hat. And they were using this plastic thing that's a circle. And I started watching it and I thought, and it was a guy. And I was watching it and I thought, nope, I am not going to get into this because I'm going to end up with another stack of like craft stuff and I'll never get around to it. So I didn't do it. Diamond painting takes up all of my spare time. No replacement on canvas, ran out of drills twice. One company, there was a lot of loops to jump through. The other one, just sent what I needed, no problem. Yeah. It's just that I was sort of talking about the fact that a lot of people get kits and then just stack them, like they build a stash up and they don't open them, they don't check them. But a lot of companies have got like a 30-day guarantee type thing, that if you don't contact them within 30 days to say there's something wrong with the canvas or I'm missing drills, and you contact them months later, they won't replace them. And it's just something for people to be aware of. You take the gamble. I mean, I do it all the time. Very seldom that I check the drills. Even though I did get caught out once, I was talking about it earlier. I had one kit, it was a black background, never checked it, and I wasn't actually even going to do that kit. I was talking to somebody about something like in this, and you know what I'm like. I'm dragging out pens and I'm dragging out different things, and something got mentioned. Oh, we were talking about 310. We were talking about DMC codes. Somebody had come in, didn't know what DMC meant, and I was explaining it's a standard way of numbering colours. I said, for example, 310 is black. No matter which company you get a kit from, if they have a DMC code and it's 310, it's black. So I went to my stash and I pulled out a bag. And I knew it was one that had a lot of 310, so I thought I'll pull that one. It'll be easy to find the bag. And I opened up the freezer bag because the way I do it is I do all these unboxings and the drills get put in a freezer bag either with the key for the diamond painting so I know what it is, or if it doesn't have a key, I put a note in. Oh, we've got our bots back. This happened last night as well. Okay. I just need to watch because last night I ended up hiding Shelley by mistake because I got these bots came in and just as I went to hit the button, she commented and I clicked it and I blocked her. Yeah, so I was talking about DMC because somebody totally new had asked what that was. So I pulled out this bag expecting a stack of black and there were none. So I checked it and I should have had something like 24,500 black and I had none. Now I'd had the kit sitting there for over 6 months. So I emailed the company, explained what happened, said I'm like 24,500 drills short. Do you still honour the replacement thing? And they never replied. They never ever got back to me. So I take it that was a no. So it's just I was talking about that, like be aware that some companies, I know that some companies it's a 30-day thing. If you don't contact them within 30 days of receipt and tell them that you're missing drills or your canvas is messed up, they won't give you a replacement. Other companies have got longer times. I remember Diamond Art Club told me that they don't have a time limit. So if you buy a Diamond Art Club diamond painting, don't open the box, fire it in your stash, and a lot of people do have a stash of Diamond Art Club. If you do open it a year later, 2 years later, and you find that something's wrong, they will still fix it. And as far as I can remember, I emailed a lot of companies. As far as I remember, they were the only company that had no limit. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So most companies have a time thing, and a lot of them it's 30 days. So just something, if you're watching the replay and you're new, something to think about. After saying that, I still don't check mine. Well, I do sometimes, but the vast majority of the time I don't. I just get the bags and I fire them all into a freezer bag, put the note in, and that's it. I take the gamble. I have a lot of spare drills of various colours. I even have enough 310 to cover that 24,500 black. So they never got back to me, but it doesn't really matter. I know I've got enough black, but I was just curious when that happened to see what would happen. because again, it's something else to talk about. So some companies won't get back to you if you ask for replacement drills. Hi, I'm crocheting a summer cardigan. I've started a shawl out of 100% linen fingering weight yarn. That means nothing to me. I tried knitting, but my mind just couldn't get over no hooks. Yeah, that barely means something to me. I've seen the hook things, those hooks. I've seen knitting needles as well. My gran used to knit, but I've never tried either. Knit one, purl one. I don't even know what that means. I just hear it. Okay, back to the real work. Number 9. Says he double checking. Always double check before I start. It's become a habit. Nothing worse than putting the wrong drills in the wrong place. Yeah, I mean, you should. I mean, really, as my dad would say, do what I do. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. That's what he told me when I was learning to drive. Because he would tell me, do this and do that. And I'd say, but you don't do that. You do this. And he said, don't do as I do as I say. So checking your kits is definitely a good thing. But I don't do it much. Don't know what's going on in Copenhagen. There's a police car going pretty fast. Okay, I'll switch cameras again just to let you get a better idea of what I'm working on. Couldn't quite get the whole thing, but this is where I am. This is the tiger's back leg. This little blue bit is the tail, but we're too close really to figure that out. So this is basically like a watercolor of a tiger. I'll show you the actual image again. So, well, the light. This is the image, and the part that was shown with the stripes is this back leg. So there's the tail. You'll be able to make it out from a distance. It's just we're a bit close, so it doesn't really look like anything. And this stripy part is the back leg. Oh, get the light out. So as you can see, I'm not even halfway. I've still got a lot to go. I think the next row that I do will get the ear in. Maybe the next one will get the eye, maybe, and part of the mouth, and then another one, another one, another one. So quite a long time before I finish this. I don't really get much time during the week. And then at weekends, I really need to get some videos done. So it's going to take a bit of time. So more sirens. Something is happening in Copenhagen tonight. Yeah, I like the image. It's a sort of abstract-ish watercolor of a tiger rather than just a straight picture. I like abstract things. I've got quite a few abstracts now. Um, I like the bold colours and stuff. Just makes a change, I think, from the sort of fine detail type stuff. Just checking what I'm on now. You is 22. I mean, you won't really appreciate this until it's finished and I can get the camera further back. And there are 50 colours on this one. It started off as nearly just all white. So it was just like massive checkerboard. And then once I actually got to the tiger, it suddenly changed. You would not believe how much green is in this. But it all works together. I need to actually post some pictures on Instagram, maybe some close-ups, just to show there's purple, blue, green, pink, brown, black, orange, yellow, various shades of blue. A lot of colour in it that you don't notice from a distance, but it all blends in and works together, which I like. I like that. Rather than it just being chunks of like one colour. Yeah, it's just something that I like anyway. It's quite surprising how it all blends. Like the first diamond painting that I did, it was a tree, and I was doing that, and I was doing the tree trunk, and there was purple in it, and I thought, how is there purple in a tree trunk? But it turned out really nice. It's just this thing about blending colours, because if you do it all one colour, then it looks more like a cartoon than a real thing. So blending colours is really important, the way they do it. So does anybody have any, I ask this all the time when it comes to a Friday, but does anybody have any big plans this weekend? Anybody doing anything exciting? Sharp one just finished was like that. Yeah, the one I did with Newhound, I don't know if you saw the video. Did you see? I can't remember, Jennifer. Did you watch the live that I did on Sunday? I started off in Newhound in Copenhagen, where I took a picture a long time ago and got it converted into a diamond painting. And when I was working on that, I could not figure out what I was looking at. And it wasn't until I'd finished, because I work in sections, I don't like to see the whole thing. So it wasn't until I finished it and then actually sat it up a good distance away that I could really see it. Up close, it just looked like nothing. It was weird. Working on the last paper for this term. You are constantly working, Jean. Okay, cool. I have to warn you, Jennifer, there are points in it where the mic cut out. I don't know why. I don't know if I had a bad connection. I don't know if it was the wind. It was a really windy day, but most of the time it works okay. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. I got a lot of really good feedback because I said in the video, if you enjoy this, please let me know, because I don't want to do them if nobody's really interested. But a lot of people were, and they're looking forward to more. So I'm going to do another one on Sunday, weather permitting. If it's not raining, I'm going to go to Coningshail, which is King's Garden. That's what it means in English. And there's a statue there of Hans Christian Andersen that I took a picture of again quite a few years ago, and I got it converted into a custom diamond painting. So I'm going to go and visit that, let people see the statue that I took a picture of. While I'm there, Rosenborg Castle is there, so I'll let you see Rosenborg Castle. Talk a little bit about the gardens and stuff. The gardens used to be private; they were only for the royal family, but they opened it up eventually to the public. So it's probably one of the most popular parks in Copenhagen in the summer. People go there, they play games on the grass, and they drink beer, and they listen to music, but quietly, and they just relax, chill out, have fun. So it's a very busy place in the summertime. Tuesday is last day of class and the break until 16th of August. Well, Tammy and I are going on vacation in August, and we're going to mainland Denmark. Doesn't sound very exotic, but I've only been to mainland Denmark once in the 10 years I've lived here. We went to Legoland with the kids, so it doesn't really count as much a vacation. So Tammy and I are going to Jutland or Jutland, if you say it in Danish, which is mainland Denmark, which is just above Germany. And we're going to visit quite a few places. I might do some absolutely random lives while we're there, but I'm not going to commit to it. I don't want it to become a YouTube live vacation. That's not the point. But if we get time and we think, right, okay, we'll do a little bit to let people see what we're watching or looking at. We're going to visit Hans Christian Andersen's birthplace. That's one of the things. We're going to go to Skien, where you see two oceans meet, which is meant to be really cool. I've never been, so we'll find out. We're going to see the Yelling Stones, which were carved in something like 625, something like that, by or on commission, I suppose, of Harold the Bluetooth, a Viking king, um, basically talking about his wife who died. So he got these stones carved in her memory. And I'm saying 625, it's something like that. It is way back. So we might do a live there. We're going to visit a castle in a forest somewhere, but I'm thinking that the Wi-Fi will probably be non-existent. I might record that as a video and do something with that as well. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want YouTube taking over the vacation, but we might put some stuff together, might do some absolutely random lives. We're going to be heading up the west coast of Jutland, so lots of sea and sand and all that type of stuff. We're going to be on the way over, we're going to be traveling through a place called Middelfart, which is quite an interesting name. So I might do a live as we drive through Middelfart, like the wind. So we'll see. Again, it all comes down to Wi-Fi connection as well. But we're going to be 10 days, I think. 10 days. We've got hotels booked in random places. We've got one night where we have nowhere booked. We're just going to drive and we're just going to stop when we decide to stop and we're just going to look for somewhere. So that's a kind of random one. But the rest of the hotels are booked. Yeah, that's the thing, Gene. I mean, we'll probably do some. I'm not saying we definitely will, but you might find some just random, quite short lives come up. Because I know that people are interested. It's something different. A lot of people don't even know where Denmark is. If you showed them a world map and said, "Where's Denmark?" It'd be like me looking at a map of America and somebody saying, "Where's Chicago?" I wouldn't have a clue. But as I said, I'm planning to do a live on Sunday, so that'll be about 10 o'clock, which is going to be 4 o'clock in the morning for Jean. So I'm expecting probably most of the people that I talk to will see the replay. After saying that, I was quite surprised how many people dropped in when I did the live last Sunday. That was earlier. Chicago, so that's in the centre of the US. Okay. I just picked somewhere at random. I mean, I've heard of it, obviously, but show me a map, no idea. Ask me where the states are, like the different states. The only one I know for sure is Texas. The rest, not sure. I'm trying to think. New York, that's on the East Coast. Is California on the West Coast? I mean, I just don't know because I've never lived there and I've never needed to know where places are. The only place I've been is Vegas. Some people will know. And that was when I was on a month's vacation in Canada. I ended up in Vegas. I got talked into it. That was interesting. The Grand Canyon was absolutely worth it, like totally worth it for the trip. Just spectacular view. Never seen anything like it. Just absolutely amazing. The casinos were pretty cool. It was quite amazing to see them in a desert and a zoo inside one, and it was just weird. But I've been there, done that. I wouldn't go back. I'm not a gambler. The gambling didn't mean anything to me. But I went and saw the Hoover Dam, went inside the Hoover Dam, got the tour of that. That was interesting. But the Grand Canyon was the top thing for me. I've got really interested in Danish history since I moved here. A lot of really cool facts, a lot of things about Copenhagen as well. As I said before, I used to do a lot of walks and talks around Copenhagen, did it for about 4.5 years. And it's just a natural curiosity. When I first moved here, I would be looking at buildings and thinking, that must have been something important at some time. And I would ask people, what is that building? And they wouldn't know. So I would go on the internet and start searching and finding things. And then I found out that I was talking to Danish people and telling them things they never knew. And they live here. But I was the same in Scotland. I passed Edinburgh Castle thousands of times. I think I was 35 before I even went into Edinburgh Castle. And that was only because some sort of far-flung relations came to visit from Canada. And they said to me, what's it like inside Edinburgh Castle? And I said, I've no idea. So I went with them. And I think it was about 35. And that was the first time I'd been inside Edinburgh Castle. But I think the thing is, where you live, you get so used to what's there that you don't really think about it. Been to Florida 4 times. Camping in Texas, is that not dangerous? Do you not have like big mosquitoes and spiders and snakes and all that stuff? It's got a little bug flying about in here. It's a fruit fly. I don't know if it went past the camera. That's about as dangerous as it gets in Copenhagen, fruit flies. We don't have, well, we have the adder, which is technically a venomous snake, but it's not that venomous. And then you've got Nikki, who lives in Australia. I mean, everything in Australia is out to kill you. I'm starting to get the idea with these bots now. I had them in the last live, first time I'd seen them, but it seemed like it's a new thing. These bots drop in. Yeah, see that that I mean, I don't know if I've spoke to you about this, Jennifer, but when I lived in Scotland, I used to keep snakes, like a lot of snakes, a lot of different species. I used to breed them. I used to do talks about them. I did talks for 16 and a half years. Helped people who were looking to buy a snake, talked to people out of buying snakes, um, visited, did private, like home visits, because somebody would buy a snake and then it wasn't eating. That was the most common thing. I would go look at their setups, explain to them what they had to improve, not criticize them, but just say, this is the problem and this is what you need to do. Um, I did 20 shows on Scottish television, live television, talking about exotic animals. I did lectures at Edinburgh and Glasgow vet schools to vet students about exotic animal husbandry. Huge thing for me. I kept snakes, I kept tarantulas, scorpions, millipedes, cockroaches, various frogs, um, a lot of different things. So I know a lot about snakes, but I would never put myself in a position where I'm going to be sleeping beside venomous snakes. Yeah, just venomous snakes and camping does not equate to fun for me. I've never kept any venomous snakes. I would never keep any. I have been bitten by non-venomous snakes, and that was enough. That hurt. Especially the black pine snake that got me. She was maybe 7 foot long and thought she was getting fed, and it wasn't food that was coming in, it was my hand. I was just going to change the water, take out the water bowl. She was hiding in her hide in a log. Sensed the vivarium opening up and thought, oh, dinner time. My hand came in and she nailed me big time. That hurt a lot and it bled a lot. If that had been a venomous snake, I'd have been in big trouble. Yeah, Tammy's told me about fire ants. We've got ants in Denmark, but they're just, I don't even know what ants they are, but they're not fire ants. Tammy's told me all about fire ants. She lived in Texas for quite a few years, and she told me about the fire ants. Yeah, I'm quite happy in Denmark. We've got adders somewhere that you never see, and that's it. Well, oh no, that's not true. We've got mosquitoes, which we don't have in Scotland, and I did not know that I was allergic to mosquito bites until I moved to Denmark. I had a snake when I was in my 20s when I lived with my boyfriends. Yeah, I had a lot of snakes. It was a major, major hobby of mine. Got really, really interested in it and started basically building a collection, I suppose, and breeding them and stuff. Just got really, really interested in it. But then I moved to Denmark and I sort of thought, right, okay, that's the end of that. Moved to Denmark and then I went to a reptile fair and I bought two corn snakes. And I was thinking about breeding them to show the girls the eggs, the babies hatching, and all that stuff. And then I decided not to do it. So I never got back into it again. as long as I have frogs singing and rabbits around, I know I don't have any snakes in my yard. Yeah, when I went to Canada, one family that I was living with for a bit, they had 2 dogs, and the main reason they had the dogs was to, let them know when there were rattlesnakes in their yard. They lived very close to something they called the boonies, and, seemingly that place was full of rattlesnakes, and with me being so interested in snakes, I said, "Could we go? Can I go and, like, see, like, wild rattlesnakes?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Okay." So I never went. But I have seen, various venomous snakes up close. People in the UK that had them illegally. A place that I used to visit a lot, they used to get involved in raids when they got reports that people were keeping venomous things. So I have seen eyelash vipers, gaboon vipers, um, can't remember what else. A few other like very venomous snakes. But that was people trying to keep them as pets. And then there was a guy that had the caiman, which is basically like a crocodile, and he was keeping it in his bath, but it was getting too big. So he advertised it in the local paper, and the SSPCA, Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, they got a tip off, so they contacted him and pretended they were somebody who was interested in buying it. So they arranged to meet him in a supermarket car park, and they contacted the police. So the police went with them, and they met this guy in the car park, opened the trunk of his car, and he had a 6-foot caiman in the back of his car. Yeah, they had the dogs, and as I said, the main reason they had the dog, I mean, not that they didn't like dogs, but the main reason they had the dogs was to warn them if there were any snakes in the yard. Yeah, I mean, venomous snakes are like, I mean, there's even constrictors like the big snakes, and I got into sort of debates in the UK about this. People keeping like Burmese pythons, reticulated pythons. Reticulated python is the longest snake in the world, and in the UK, you don't need a license to keep them. And I did meet a couple who had bought one, didn't know what it was, and I used to help out sometimes. Just did it as a part of the hobby, really. A place called Tropical Rainforest World, and I used to go up there, and it was like a sort of butterfly world type thing where people came in, you could walk around with butterflies flying about all over the place, and then they had enclosures that had snakes and spiders and marmosets, and they had fruit bats that flew freely in the place. And I was obviously just really interested in all that stuff. So I got to know the guys that ran it, and I explained what I did, all these talks and things. I did talks at schools and colleges and preschool groups, old folks' homes. Did a talk at a deaf school one time. That was the weird one. They contacted me and said, "We wonder if you'd be interested in doing a talk." And I thought, it's a deaf school. Um, and I said, "I don't know any sign language." Well, I said, "The sign language I know you don't want me to use." And they said, "No, it's okay. If you talk, somebody will be there and do the sign language, and the people that are watching will sign language back, and then that person will ask you the question or make the comment." And that went really, really well. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, rattlesnakes. Yeah, no fun. Fascinating, fascinating animals, but I wouldn't want to get too close to one. I mean, there was a woman in Glasgow, in Scotland, and she had always wanted a snake. Like, just it was something that she'd always thought about getting, and she wanted like a big snake, which is always worrying when people want big snakes. And she eventually got a Burmese python from a friend of hers who had it, but the usual story, it was getting too big, didn't want it. She took it, and she was keeping it in her home, not in any kind of tank, just free roam in her home. And she came home one day, and the snake was in the process of swallowing her dog. So I think it was a Yorkshire Terrier. And she came in. The snake had already killed the dog and was in the process of swallowing it, which was no surprise to me at all. It's food for a snake. Dog, cat, don't care. But some people just don't really understand what they're taking on. So that used to be my very, very big hobby. And now it's changed to diamond painting. I'm mellowing out in my old age. So it's gone quiet, so I'm just putting drills down while I can. Because as everybody knows, once I start talking, I stop diamond painting. I can't multitask. I'm okay if I'm just talking to myself like this, but it's when somebody asks a question and we get into a discussion, I can't concentrate on two things at the same time. It's just a fact. Yep, that's two. So I reckon this is going to take me another month, probably. Excuse me. So I thought I would probably get this finished during this live and go on to the next section. So I think I will. double checking I'm doing the right symbol. So is anybody else diamond painting while they're watching or listening? I'm curious to what people are doing. Answering discussion questions. That sounds really interesting, Jean. What else would you be doing on a Friday? But there again, I'm thinking Friday night. For you, it's what, 3:25 in the afternoon. Me, it's 9:25 in the evening. Relaxation time. So just a few of this colour, and then I'll be done. Should maybe switch it to the other camera. All you're seeing is the back of my hand. Where are we? This one and this one. You start crafting at 7:30. Okay, so you've got a set time for crafting. 7:30 until when? Oops. Okay, another section done. Go to bed around 10:30. Yeah, I tend to go to bed about sometime between 10 and 11. I wake up about 5 without an alarm clock, even at weekends. So I get up about 5 in the morning and I come in here. Well, I go and get a coffee. Well, tea, actually. Stop drinking coffee. I go and get a tea and then I come in, sit in here and diamond paint for a few hours before the day starts. During the week, I come in here and diamond paint for a little bit of time before I go to work. Normally leave here about 7:30 in the morning, so maybe get a couple of hours, maybe. Sometimes it's checking emails and doing different stuff, but the weekend, normally I get a good 2 or 3 hours in the mornings. This weekend, as I said, on Sunday, I'm planning to go and do a live, but Kongseo doesn't open until 10 a.m, so I'll be diamond painting before I head in there. I would really like to go into the interesting part of this. This is not a lot to see at the moment, but hopefully I'll get this last section done over the weekend at least and get on to the next row, which is going to take us onto the sort of main part of the tiger. So something a bit more interesting to see. Try to find my roller. The way that I work this is, see that one's sitting up a bit. When I do a section, the first thing I do when I'm finished is I use one of these rollers and just go over it. Just to seep them in. Then when I'm finished the diamond painting like completely, I go back over it again. I've got a little bit of something there. I'll go back over it again just to press the drills in. What I also do is I go over, I always use my fingertips and just gently run my hand over the top, see if I can feel anything. If I feel any, I press them in. Fingernails come in handy. But I like to get them flat, like whatever I've done, I like the whole thing to be flat, and then I'll go back over the whole thing with the roller and my hand. I think your hand is the best thing because it's not obvious when they're sitting up a bit. But I just killed a fly. That was probably that fruit fly that was going about. That's what you get for landing on my diamond painting. You won't do that again. So, time to open up the last section. So this is double-sided release paper, so it means it's shiny on both sides. I don't have to worry about which way I put it down. Put that to the side. So massive chunk of what DMC code is that? 3865. All this white area is 3865, so huge checkerboard. That won't take too long actually. It's when you get all these various colours and things. Doesn't look like it, but there is a lot of colour in this section up here. I've got like pink, orange, yellow, a darker yellow, green, purple, grey, blue, I don't know what it's called, teal, brown, various shades of brown, all in just this little section here. Whereas this part, white, massive area. So I'll get all this coloured part done and then I'll just checkerboard all this and sit and do this. Won't be doing it in the live though. I'm not going to stay on that long. How long? I've been on an hour and a half. Time flies when you are enjoying yourself, as they say. So number 48. What I do, again, I've mentioned it before, but I'm always conscious that new people drop in. What I do when I'm working on these is like I'm in the wrong camera. I'm working on number 48. Da, da, da. What I do is when I take the Tic Tac box or container out of the case, I set it in the green tray. And that way I always know where it is, and it stops me putting it back before I've finished using these. Because I did that so many times. I would pour the drills into the tray, and then I would put the Tic Tac container back, and then I would sit in diamond paint, and then I'd stop, and I couldn't remember what colour I was doing. I did that quite a few times. And I thought, okay, I need to do something to stop me doing that. So I finally found a use for these green trays, and I put the Tic Tac container in there. And then pour them, drop it in there. When I'm finished, pick it up, pour them back in, put it back. If I'm using the big container, like these things, and I'm working on a colour, bring it down a bit. So say I'm working on 39. What I do is I set the green tray on top. So then I know what colour I'm doing, because I've got these two here that look white. There is a difference, but they're pretty close together. So if I'm doing 39, I set the tray there. And then when I'm finished, I've got 39s in here. It would be quite easy to get them mixed up. So I know, I look up, oh yeah, these are 39s, pop the lid open, pour them back in. So just a thing that I've sort of came up with. Now, this is a drill that I will reject, and you will not see it, but there is a tiny, tiny little bar on the side, like a really small one, like really small, but I can see it when I put it over the light, so I don't use it. I am very, very picky on the drills. I don't use any that have got any kind of tiny bar on the side at all, because those little things start to knock drills out of line. And you should always have more than you need. So you don't need to feel, again, I'm saying this for people that might be dropping in who are totally new, because I know that there's people that are watching this and thinking, I know that. But I'm always conscious of newcomers. So I'm very fussy on the drills that I use. And as I was saying, don't feel that you've got to use every drill you pick up, because you should always have extra. And even if you don't, it's better to reject the drills that have got little bits sticking out than try and use them. Because if you try and use them, they start to knock things out, and then it just becomes harder and harder to get things lined up. It's not worth the hassle. If you're finding you've got a lot of bad drills, bits sticking out, don't use them. You might find out that you're short. What to do then is just buy extra drills, or contact the company. You could try that for sure. Contact the company and say, doing this diamond painting, like before you finish it, and say, like 310 is a sort of normal one that you have problems with. Contact them and say, I'm having a lot of problems with these 310s, and I'm having to throw a lot away. Can you send me another bag or two or whatever? They might do it. Depends on the company. Some companies are much, much better than others at dealing with customers. Some companies may not even answer your email. But there's also companies where you can contact them and just ask them, like Mike, smithsbeads.co.uk. I would, for the sake of the price, I mean, they're not that expensive. I've done it in the past. Rather than contacting the company that I got the stuff from, just contacted Mike and said, I need whatever, 3 bags, 2 bags, 1 bag, whatever. And I buy them off him. They're not that expensive. But then I've got good drills. Like, it's really important that your drills are nice and clean around the edges more than anything. Because once you start knocking drills out of place, it just escalates and it becomes or it can become a nightmare. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. I mean, it does make a difference. I mean, people have commented and like pictures I've posted and things, and they're like, how do you get your drill so straight? I always make sure the drills are nice and clean. That is probably number one. I use tweezers, a single place, and I use the checkerboard pattern as much as possible. And I take my time. It's a sort of combination of all of those things. If you take your time and you're meticulous at how you place them, like I always aim for the bottom left hand corner of a square. I get the bottom left hand corner of the drill, I put it in the bottom left hand corner of the square, and I totally ignore if it's short at the top or at the side, at the back. I just aim it at that corner and it sits there. And if there's a gap, there's a gap. It doesn't matter. When you look at a picture from a normal viewing distance, you will never ever see that gap. It is so small. And again, I spoke about it last time. People will say, I'm never doing squares because the gaps are driving me nuts. I'm trying to get them even and I can't. It really doesn't matter. The same people will do round drills that have much bigger gaps and don't bother about it. But it's because the gaps are even. And that's my theory. Because when you're looking along and you see the circles, circle, and you see all these little diamond gaps, it's all even, and your brain thinks, yeah, that looks good. If you've got gaps with squares, they tend to be uneven, and your brain is like, that gap's bigger than that gap, that drill's squint, that blah, 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 blah. And you think, this is a nightmare. The gaps are actually smaller on squares than they are on rounds, and that's a fact. You're never going to get away from that. But people don't complain about rounds. It's just kind of weird. But I mean, I don't mean it's weird. I just mean people complain about the smaller gaps more than they complain about the big gaps because they're not uniform. That's the thing. That's what, to me, that's what triggers your brain. You see gaps and you think, oh, well, that gap there, I mean, I can sit and do that. I can move drills slightly to get them a bit more. But these gaps are absolutely tiny. I mean, they're a millimetre, if even. You're not going to see a millimetre gap from 5 feet away. If you were a hawk, you would, but you're a human. Our eyesight isn't that good. So you won't see it. The other thing is I've got the light on, so anybody that uses a light pad, it exaggerates the gaps tenfold. If you switch your light pad off, the gaps will tend to disappear. And if you take 2 steps back, they will completely disappear. Okay, Jennifer, have a good weekend. Thanks for dropping in. It's nice to see you again. Okay, now I've lost track. I do this all the time when I start talking. I lose track of what I'm working on. So 48 is the little squiggly line. That's a technical term, the squiggly line. Which is this. I don't have much colour in this section. That's that, I think. So it goes all quiet again because nobody's commenting, which gives me a chance to put some drills down. I can now switch camera again. And then I can zoom in. Miss about with the focus, which is wrong. Probably as good as I'm going to get. The only problem is where I've got the camera, my hand gets in the way. Because the other camera is on the opposite side. So you can see what I'm doing better probably from this one. But I set this one further back to try and give a better idea of what I'm working on. So we've got the tiger's tail, the tiger's back leg, and that's pretty much it. I'm just checking to see if I missed anything. Don't think so. Oops. So you can see how the confetti is going. It's pretty well scattered. I know some people really don't like this, but it doesn't bother me. Again, sear drill, tiny little bump on the side. I don't use it. Okay, I think that's all of that. So double check, 28 is diamond, appropriate, which is a very dark blue DMC 924. And again, doing checkerboard, even though I've only got 3 drills here. So I put the middle one in, Then I put one on either side. It's just become so much of a habit to do checkerboard. I do it all the time. And that's it. I think this is what some people don't like about checkerboard. You take your drills out and you place 3, 4 drills. I mean, sometimes, even on this one, I've had, like I've opened a section this size and I've got one drill of one colour. So open it, pour them out, one drill, done, put it back. Some people prefer it, they have more, like, well, I've got a lot here. When they pour the drills out, they work on them for quite a long time, and they prefer that to this chop change thing. But for me, the main thing that I'm interested in is the finished image. So it doesn't matter if I've got a lot of confetti or if I'm doing a massive area of one colour, one drill at a time with tweezers. I'll just sit and listen to music and do it. Doesn't bother me. For me, diamond painting is a way to relax and just switch off. So I'm not in a rush to get it done. And the more you take your time, the more accurate you can be with the placement, and the better it's going to look at the end. Just double checking that I'm doing the right one. This one here's, you need to be pretty sharp because I've got C, capital C and capital G side by side, and the background colour of the square is the same. So you need to be alert when you get things like that. Another one that I've got in this one is I've got the and symbol and 8, which look very similar. I've already had that earlier, and they're mixed in with each other. So I've got the and symbol and 8. So it's a good idea to take your time when you get things like that. Not that, I mean, I think if I got them mixed up, I doubt if you would notice it because it's in like a really heavy confetti area. So there's multiple colours in there. And if you happen to put a square the wrong colour, you're not going to see it. It's more if you've got a chunk that you do the wrong colour, then it becomes obvious. I mean, I've done it in the past where I've just lost concentration and I'm putting the wrong colours in the wrong square. But the times that I have done it, I've noticed that it's like I'm working on an area and it's like blues and greens, and suddenly I'm putting in pink, and I'm thinking that doesn't look right. And then I check it and realise I've been putting the wrong colour in. So I've been lucky that way, but I mean, you could get it that you're putting the wrong colour in, but it's another shade of brown in an area of brown, and you think, well, nobody's going to notice it. So you might be tempted just to use it. The thing you have to remember is those browns that you've put in the wrong place are meant to be somewhere else. So you could run out somewhere else because you've used them there. And it could be that the ones that were meant to go there don't blend in wherever they were meant to be. So it's always better to put the right colour in the right place. I mean, it sounds obvious, but sometimes you'd be tempted to think, "Ah, it's near enough, and I've already placed all these." It might be better to actually pick them back out and do them again. But of course, as they say, the choice is yours. So we're on to X, which is number 25, which is DMC code 844, which is dark brown. Never put it in its tray. So once you've got all these colours done, it's just going to be a huge section of white, which will go quite a bit quicker because I'm not having to keep changing colours. Just pour out a load of the same colour and just work on it. Again, if anybody, as far as I can see, only one person is watching, but if anybody is new to diamond painting and you've maybe done your first one and you're thinking, I really like this, I would definitely recommend that you get a bigger tray. When you get the kits, the sort of standard one for the cheaper kits, you get a tray like this. Now the thing about this is if you're doing a bigger diamond painting and you have to use a lot of drills, like this for example, a lot of white, you might be tempted to pour a pile of drills into this. If you do that, you can't really get them laying the way they're meant to lay flat. So it's better to get a big tray and then you can spread them out and then you can shake it. And then they're all scattered and it's easy to pick up. Whereas if you have all of these drills in here, they're more sort of compacted. If you pour in a lot more drills, they end up in a pile. And you have to try and, in fact, most people won't be using tweezers. You'll be trying to use a pen in a pile of drills. It doesn't really work. You want the drills laying flat in the grooves with the flat base down, so it's nice and easy to pick up with your pen. So big trays are definitely something worth getting. They're not that expensive, well, depending on where you buy them, I suppose, but this tray, I bought 2 of them from Huracan store on AliExpress, and I got 2 trays this size for just under $5. And they're perfect. They're big trays, they've got square sides so they don't flip over, like these ones. I've got angled sides, so if you accidentally touch that, they flip really, really easy. And if you've got your drills in here, they end up all over your canvas. Whereas this one has got square edges, so they're straight. Plus it's a bigger base, so you can, I'm hitting that hard, doesn't flip over. I can sit my hand on it, doesn't flip over. Do that, tap it hard, sit my hand on it. That's the big downside of these little trays. I mean, they work, but you're limited to how many drills you can put in it. And the main thing for me is this flip thing. It's really, really annoying. So I would say getting a big tray with square sides, definitely a good idea. I doubt if anybody except Nicky will see that part, but you never know. 25. See, I lost track again. 25 is X. Oh, finished them. Yep, done. So H, number 42. Again, I've got a drill here. It's got one corner, has got a slight peak on it, so trash. It's done. So I think I'm going to call it a night. 10 o'clock. This is normally when I start thinking about going to bed. As I said, I'm up at usually 5. So I'll start working on this again in the morning. It's looking good. Not a lot to see right now, but once I've done the next row, which is up here, once I've done that, it'll start to make a bit more sense, I think, and I'll set the camera maybe directly above. It's just I was trying to get where I'm working on from a distance to give you an idea, and then the close-up camera, so you could get a better idea of what I was actually doing. So thanks for sticking in there, Jean. Hope you have a good weekend. Try and take a break. Too much studying is a bad thing. So enjoy your craft time at 7:30, and you'll maybe. I don't think you'll catch me live, but you'll see my replay on Sunday when I go and visit Hans Christian Andersen. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the replay. Anybody who's stuck this far, Nikki, thanks for watching. As I said, I'd be interested to get some feedback from people on how many kits they've had with bad canvases and how many kits they've had with a shortage of drills, and how well the company's dealt with it. I have had both things happen, and I've had no problems getting things replaced, except one. The one that was short of something like 24,500 black drills. Never noticed it until about 6 months after I'd actually received it, and asked the company if they would still honour replacing them, and they never replied. Apart from that, every other time the companies have been really quick, replied back, no problem, we'll send them out as soon as possible, and I've always got them. So it's just one of these things. As I said, it's a good idea not to wait too long before you check your kits for any problems, because you might find that the company won't honour any replacements because you've taken too long to get back to them. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.